Hold-Up is the robbery prevention program that gives you the tools in order for you not to be robbed before that crime occurs. It stands for Hardening Opportunity, Limiting Danger, and Uniting Prevention. A huge part of Hold-Up is so we can educate the community in not only crime prevention, but specifically robbery prevention.
Well, I think the Hold-Up program is a unique opportunity for the police department to collaborate with the community, in this case particularly with business owners, and provide some strategies and some mechanisms to make their businesses safer, to reduce the incidence of robbery in our community, and really to develop those effective communication networks that I think are so important with the stakeholders in our community.
This Hold-Up program is kind of a unique program because it incorporates a lot of the principles of robbery prevention with the concept of community involvement that I think is kind of unique. The program's based on 3 general concepts, and when you put them together, you see the whole picture of robbery prevention. Number 1 is hardening opportunities. That is, looking at businesses from a CEPTED model, that's a crime prevention through environmental design. Ways that you can make your business look like less of a target, make that target more difficult. The second concept is limiting danger. One of the things about robberies is we want to keep people safe, and here are the techniques described that will keep people safe in a robbery situation. The third concept is uniting prevention. This kind of uses the principles of community policing and neighborhood watch in a business atmosphere. We think that this program will work real well in the business area with other businesses uniting, working with a police department to unite and prevent against robberies.
We've already held one class, and the very first class that we held was to the Colorado Crime Prevention Board.
What we're doing today is we're going to talk about our new Hold-Up Robbery Prevention Program.
The group encompasses a multitude of several different ranks and files within different law enforcement agencies throughout the state of Colorado.
What to do after the bad guy leaves. Okay, call 911, call the store manager, lock the doors. That's something that as an individual business owner you're going to have to do what's best for your particular business.
We need to come together as a team and hopefully not only get the information out about Hold-Up locally in the city of Wheat Ridge to the business people and the citizens of Wheat Ridge, but we'd like to share it with other law enforcement agencies so they can have the opportunity to adapt a program such as ours to take to their city and their citizens.
Cooperate with the suspect. Don't try to argue with them, talk to them. 85% of all victims of a robbery that cooperate will prevail unharmed.
Why are some of these employees doing some of the things they are doing? And I started to think to myself, well, someone taught me how to be a police officer, but no one's ever taught them about what happens during a robbery. What to do before the robbery, during the robbery, and after the robbery. We give these tools to these business owners and these employees through this prevention program to know what to do with their hands at all times. You don't want to hide your hands underneath the counter because they might think you're going for a weapon or hitting an alarm. This class is free. It only lasts for a couple hours, and what happens at the end of that class, then you just set up a quick appointment with crime prevention officers here at the Wheat Ridge Police Department or myself, and we come out to your business and we just look over the minimum standards of what CEPTED is and give you a few suggestions, and then once you've done those 2 simple things, we bring out a real nice sign that goes in the window of your business. And the sign basically says that you are in participation with the Wheat Ridge Police Department in the Hold-Up program. They see that you're part of this Hold-Up program, and they know that that location is a harder target for them to rob and to commit shoplifting and all different types of crimes within that business. So they see that sign alone and they think to themselves, these people know something about robbery. You know, I've investigated several robberies since my time as an investigator with Wheat Ridge, but one of the locations that has gotten hit in the past is the buyback games.
Well, you always feel like you've been violated. You feel like you work real hard to make the money you make, and all of a sudden now it's gone for that day's business.
Basically, we're just sitting here on a Saturday night pretty slow, and we were just kind of sitting here doing our thing, and this guy comes in. Of course, he pulled the gun out, and then we knew it was pretty real. He basically just ordered me over to the register to give him the money, and did that as quickly as I could. He wanted the big bills, nothing else. I was going through my head at the time wondering, you know, is this gun real? Do I take it from him? Do I try to hop over the counter? Or do I just give him the money and hope he doesn't do anything? I did my thing. I gave him the money. I gave him the money from both registers. He ordered us into the back. As soon as we got back, went into the back room and called the cops as quick as we could. That was the very first time I've ever been robbed.
We're in Buyback Games today, and we're here to talk about some crime prevention tactics that they've been using to prevent crime here at the store. Well, crime prevention through environmental design is a proven technique to reduce crime in all areas. It's defined as the use of the designed building to reduce the incidence and fear of crime. First of all, let's talk about the exterior of the building here. We've got these pillars in front of the building that will be used to keep cars from driving through the glass in an attempt to rob or burglarize the business here. Also, looking at the windows, you can see all the way through the windows. They don't have a whole lot of clutter in them. They are not covered up by posters, which they absolutely could be at this type of a location. The business is able to see out into the parking lot to see if there's any suspicious vehicles, and also the police, when we drive through the parking lot, are able to look into the business and make sure that everything's okay. On the other side of the glass, you can see some steel bars that they've got inside. That's also very good for security to keep people out, and they know that they want to keep them out. Now we're here behind the register. Let me show you what they've done with their alarm system. With their alarm system, they've included a panic alarm. What you want to do during a robbery, though, is you don't want to reach down to where the robber's going to think that you're trying to grab a gun or activate a panic alarm. You want to keep your hands above the counter where they can see them at all times, and then activate the panic button once the robber leaves. Here we see that they have a video surveillance system installed. They've got a total of 6 cameras in the business, 5 of which are in the showroom floor. They show all kinds of different angles. They show the angle of when the robber comes in, when the robber's exiting, which is excellent information for the police department when investigating these types of crimes.
Yeah, I think these tips that we can, provide you and your employees about, being a little bit more conscious of people coming in your business and what to do during the robbery. A good camera system is just almost one of your prime tools within your business. And I've noticed since I've been in your business, you have an excellent camera system. And I've actually dealt with you in the past on other cases and stuff, and your camera system has helped the police department.
Yeah, it has really slowed down crime since we have tried to think about prevention of crime. What can we do to prevent the crime?
I started barbering in Wheat Ridge in 1967. Just about every place I've worked, there's been either a burglary or robbery close next door, or people that I knew. We've been a victim of a burglary ourselves.
Danny's been around Wheat Ridge for 42 years, and he is a huge part of this community. He's worked with the police department very closely. And Danny's taken some steps also to make sure that he is a little bit more SEPTED friendly and stuff at his business.
I think everybody thinks they know what to do till it happens, and then when it happens, I think it would be pretty frightening to have somebody maybe stick a gun in your face or something like that. It'd make you think.
It's a great example of how well he's worked with the police department and his community in order not just to prevent crime at his business, but to prevent crime within the city.
Appreciate it. Thank you much.
So here we are in a business that actually was a victim of a robbery a couple of years ago. And as you can see, she did excellent work. What she did is she put up glass surrounding her entire area of where her employees are. Also, you can see here, she put up a really nice video camera, and she gave it an angle of so we can see the suspect's face. And that's really going to help during the investigation of a robbery in this type of a location.
Take advantage of it. Make your employees safe, make your customers safe, and make your businesses safe. Work with the police department on our crime prevention strategies in terms of how to make your business, a safer place and more appealing to the customers that you're trying to attract to your business, and make it a safe environment.
The police department doesn't have enough police officers or resources to be everywhere all the time. We need the community, their eyes and ears, and their participation in these programs to assist the police department to work together in a partnership in these crime prevention efforts.
We've been saying this throughout, that we can't do it alone. And in fact, in a lot of the classes that I teach with crime prevention in mind, I tell them that crime is not a police problem. And a lot of people take offense to that, but truly it is a community problem. The police are an integral part of the community, but it has to be a community solution.
I'd like to invite you to become a partner with the Wheat Ridge Police Department's new robbery prevention program, Hold Up. And remember, let's hold them up before they hold you up.